Hi, I just wanted to do this little review on a book called Calling in the Wind from Katherine Woodward Thomas. The reason I wanted to do this review is because, like a lot of my friends, I spent many years alone searching for the one and found that I just kept getting the wrong one. So after, doing a lot of self-help, reading a lot of self-help books and just starting to do a lot of internal work, I started to question if there really was somebody out there for me, because I found that I questioned my emotions as far as even having any, because when I'd go on dates there would just be no attraction whatsoever, and no physical, no spark, nothing. It was just a dull feeling inside, no matter how this person, it seemed to be so wonderful in paper. um, Anyways, I did like I always do. I get on YouTube and I started researching to see, what are people doing, how to get out, how to search. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, and I came across the book Calling in the One, and I didn't find a lot of useful resource as far as YouTube, as far as reviews. A lot of people said they used it, but they never really talked about the results or what they found. Just that it was a good book. But I thought I'd give it a try anyway. I mean, I had nothing to lose at this point. I'm 43 years old, and so I thought, okay, I'll just give it a try. Daughter's in college, ready to try anything at this point. So I took up the book, and this was about 2 years ago. I took up the book and I started going through it, and I absolutely loved it. For one, the main reason I really loved it was because it wasn't really about getting dressed, going out and where to look for men. It's more about self-healing, looking within you, trying to figure out why it is that you keep attracting the wrong men, or what type of men you're attracting, and what that really tells you about yourself. And it's a workbook. So every chapter, you would read one chapter and then work through the process, and then go through the next chapter, and you go at your own pace. And I found that was really helpful for me, because it helped me sort of slow down and take a look at things that you kind of think, oh well, that's a no-brainer, but you're still doing the wrong thing. So I loved it, and I went through it, and well, long story short, about 6 months into reading the book, I was ready to give up on all of the what do you call it, the internet online dating, which I'd been on several, and at this point I just sort of skimmed through things and delete, not interested. And I finally just said, whatever it is, it will be. So one day, my boss was telling me about POF, which was one of the dating pages that I said I'd never join, because I heard it was just about getting hooked up. So with all that in mind, I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I went on a couple good coffee dates, same thing, no attraction whatsoever. And out of the blue, I got contacted by somebody, and this somebody was everything that I had set out as far as a checklist of things that I wanted. But again, I wasn't getting my hopes very high, because I'd left it to the universe at this point. And the moment we started chatting, it was nonstop. I couldn't wait to start talking to him again. And I felt like that little flutter in my heart that I hadn't felt for a long time, but is very cautious of it, of course, because I hadn't personally met him yet. The reason for that was that he was actually from the States and I lived in Canada, which was not what I actually ever would have wanted to even pursue, because of long distance, and I understand how long distance relationships are just too difficult. But when I went into the conversation with him, I hadn't even noticed that he wasn't from Canada, or from the same city as me. So after talking to him, he assured me that it was okay, and that if it's worth it, it will work. And I started trusting and believing in him, and Lord and behold, 2 weeks later he showed up to Vancouver. He was from Spokane, Washington, and we hit it off right away, and it was like I've known him all my entire life. And I started reflecting a little bit on the book, trying to remember some of the key points about some of my internal stuff, and make sure that I keep that, or absorb just see it and acknowledge it, and not try to impose a lot of the old stuff that I've carried on from before. And it really helped, and in fact it helped so much that he literally came up on September 5th, and every week, every second week he would fly up, or I would try to head down there. Finally came to the situation where he was offered a job in Seattle, which was only about 3 hours away from here. He took it so that we could be together, and then he'd come up every weekend, or I'd go down every weekend, and we did this for quite a bit. In fact, we did it until December 2016. We met in 2015. And finally, we decided that, actually I'll go back a little bit and let you guys know that we actually did get engaged, and we got married in April 9th of 2016. So it was wonderful. I didn't think I'd find the one, but he was and is the one. We're going through a lot of things right now as far as adjustments, because again, he's from the States and I'm from Canada, and I've had to make the move to the States. We're going through the application process. It's not easy, but we're going through what we need to get through to be together. And so I just really wanted to point out this book, because I feel like this was one of the key things that really helped me get to the point where I needed to get to find the one. Truly is a book about finding the one, and essentially the one is really you. That's how I took it, because it was about finding yourself and seeing all the things that you carry that aren't yours, and to attract the right people. And I really loved it. To be honest, I never even got to the end. Because all of this happened so fast, and kind of in a little whirlwind with the relationship and everything. But I am planning to go back and finish I think it was the last 2 chapters, and even go back to the beginning and reading it again, because I loved it so much. So just wanted to again, first I'll also let you know, I know nothing about the author as far as any of her other books or anything like that, and I ran into this book out of pure coincidence, and this review that I'm doing is really my own personal review, no affiliation to anything. I just wanted to send it out there, because I know there's so many girls out there that have gone or are still going through the struggle to try to find that person, and it's important to look within yourself to find that right person. So let me know what you think of the review, or any comments or questions, and subscribe. Thanks.